property, and I figured you just wanted to go up. So I rode up with him, and he said, well, this is rent the same apartment, $55 a day up there. And he said, I'll pay for it all, pay for everything.
Not bad. Okay, we're Jerry, first of all, is it true that that your brother James was planning to try and escape again?
But as far as this escape map, me and Mark Lane thinks what happened, the committee had this map drawn up some way because they got the Xerox copy, they said, not the original copy, where anybody can make a Xerox copy. And that's just an attempt to get James in a federal prison.
Did you know that Oliver Patterson had gone through your stuff?
No, I didn't know it until I got back to St. Louis, and a friend of his knew all about it, flew out to California and told Mark Lane the whole story. And so Mark Lane and Dick Gregory came in to St. Louis, and they confronted Patterson with the evidence they had, and he broke down and confessed to the whole thing.
Why do you think this is all being done?
And it was investigating everything, the FBI, me, James, the whole thing. But the new committee adopted new rules after they fired Sprague, and the FBI and the CIA has to prove of every member they hire. So it's an FBI committee now. So this Patterson admitted that he's an FBI informant back in '70, contacting me and getting the information off me, bugging phones and tapping this, having me call him. And so now the committee hired him because it's an FBI committee.
Well, now James is going to testify next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday before the committee. What is he going to be talking about?
He's got an R's opening statement, and he's working on it now. He's going to go from the time he escaped from Jefferson City, cover all of his travels, and right up until this very day. And he's going to go over everything. And a funny thing about that, too, Harold Weisberg used to be James' investigator, and Mark Lane both found out, and you'll find out in a few days, Blakely, the head of the committee, the investigator, and Eberhardt, the ones that does all the question and answer, the attorneys, they won't do it on James. They're bringing in some guy from Florida, supposed to be an expert at it, and he's going to go to Washington a couple days before James is up there and try to destroy him before he even comes in.
What do you mean, try to destroy him?
Discredit him. Say he made this statement and back in '70, he made this in '69, '71. They're going to try to compile all the statements he ever made and show that his word can be believed.
Do you think that his story, once it comes out in the committee testimony, is going to be such that people are really going to start to believe him?
I think it's going to backfire on the committee. I think with all the people, Jackson and Dick Gregory and Mark Lane, all of them, I think they're going to put enough pressure on the government. And they already been to Carter, and they asked him Carter, they told Carter that Petros is closer than Moscow. They got human rights over here too. And Jesse Jackson said that James is the #1 political prisoner in the United States. So worry about the United States before Moscow, because in Moscow you can get a trial, here you can't.
Now, you mentioned Jesse Jackson. He had a meeting with James today. What do you think of that meeting?
Well, I think it's just people's concern about how they will pick a person up and accuse him of a crime and will not let him have a trial. I don't believe Jackson thinks that James is innocent or guilty. But I think the only thing he is wanting is a trial. And at a trial, I think the guilt or innocent will come out. And like James always tells the reporters, so why, when he tells me he's not guilty, they say, well, why should we believe you? He said, don't believe me, just give me a trial.
The other shots? What, are you going to go up to Washington for the...
I'm not positive yet. I have to contact Lane and see if he wants me up there, because I will not be able to get in the room. The press will, so many of the press will, and different people will, but they got a seat allotment, and I won't not be able to get in it or not.
When was the last time?
I can let you know if I do, if something comes up.
When was the last time that you spoke to James?
I spoke to him about almost 3 weeks ago when Sawyer made that offer, when Blakely and Mark Lane calls him Sherlock Blakely. He said Sherlock will solve every crime in the United States except... I said, no, well, you can ask him that too, but let's ask him if he killed Martin Luther King, if there was anybody involved, ask him everything. They said, no, we don't want to ask him that. So they're just assuming he's guilty. They just want to know, according to them, if I was involved, my other brother was involved, and other members of the family. And Lane said, hell, they can go to hell, that lie detector test. And if they don't want to give an honest test off, they ask them everything. And so they asked me if he's...
We've got them to cut to.
Not to the best of my knowledge, she wasn't. I read the reports where this informant for the FBI, Oliver Patterson, was supposed to pound. And
Why would Oliver Patterson say these things then?
well, I don't know. I haven't talked to Patterson since Mark Lane and Dick Gregory broke him down.
Maybe you should ask that one.
Let me ask that again.
You want to answer again?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you. You don't have to answer it. I'm just going to ask.
Oh, you're just going to ask?
Why would Oliver Patterson, the man you shared this room with, say these things then? Why would he... Let me do it a third time.
Okay. I'm getting good at that anyway.
Yeah, you're getting to be a real pro.
Okay.
Well, now, James will be testifying next week before the House Assassinations Committee. What is he going to tell them?
He'll testify to everything that happened from the time he escaped from Jefferson City up. I tell you what they're trying to do on me, then I'll fight back. You know, you think I'd be doing 400 years in prison? I was sent to Florida to assassinate Bob Barber. That's an FBI files.